So, travel sketchbook. I started this on December of 2022 and I finished it April 2024. I think that's like a little over a year of usage. So this was my travel sketchbook. I took it everywhere with me when I went out. I made this out of an old book that I bought in Athens. It was, just like a bookshop that we found, and I gutted it and put my own paper into it. I did different types of paper. I had black cartridge, craft, and tracing paper. One thing I do regret though is I used very thick black paper, so it doesn't you can't really like flick through the pages very well, so I would change that next time for sure. I'd use thinner paper. But yeah, I love this little thing, very cute. So let's go through it. So my aunt actually had a Greek friend who she sent a photo of the cover and was able to translate it, so that's actually what the cover says, and I like that it says art because that's what it's used for, so that's good. I started off wanting to like go big. I wanted to use as much color as possible because in my last sketchbook it was more sketchy and I hadn't used that much color, so I wanted to challenge myself to use more coloring pencils and pens and stuff like that. So yeah, this was a tower at the top of the castle that we went to, Coastin Castle. We went with my dog. More Coastin Castle. I also would take this sketchbook to make notes in. I used to go to some art talks, and so I'd take some little notes, very messily because we were in the dark, so don't judge me. This is a little bit embarrassing. It's basically my first ever selfie that I drew, but I did it because I found a prompt list by these people. And yeah, they had this little prompt list that I really liked, and at the same time I was going on a little trip to a relative's house, so I kind of wanted to try and follow it. So the first one was our artist outfit, so I did that. I'm not going to show too much of it. I think I did out of the window, which was this, out of the car window as we drove, but I think after that I didn't do anything else, so not very successful. Some blobs that are supposed to be animals. We went to a place called Waverley Abbey, and on the way there's cows and ducks and stuff, so I very quickly tried to draw them, and geese. This is Waverley Abbey. I did this sketch to begin with, like on site, and then when I came back home I used the tracing paper to do a better pen sketch, which I like a lot more than the pencil, that's for sure. More Waverley Abbey. I liked the moon that you could see at the top in front of these ruins, behind these ruins even. And there's a little creek next to it with these dragon's teeth put, I think, during the war, because apparently they thought that the enemy would somehow get through that tiny little creek. So, it's very atmospheric, though. I've taken lots of photos, very atmospheric photos of the dragon's teeth. This is back up at home. We went to a place called Ledbury. I don't really like this page. It didn't turn out very well. I pre-painted it and kind of regretted it because the pen didn't really go well with it. But I saved a leaf. Oops. I'll leave that there. So yeah, we went to church and we went to a cafe. It's called Pot and Page, so it's like a vegan cafe. But yeah, so this was like a collage basically of all the things that we ate, including some very nice donuts. These were more notes at the Art Society and some sketches for a potential sticker. Then, as I see here, this is White Castle. I added this, I got my brother to pose for me, and then I kind of really badly added this cape onto him, but it's really bad. I really wish I hadn't added that at all. Honestly, the whole thing I'm really not into at all. More notes. Church of St. Mary and St. David. Oh, this is actually Kilpeck Church, which is quite infamous for its carvings. There's a specific carving that it's well known for. But yeah, I was just copying the carvings. I pre-painted these pages as well beforehand, so I took advantage of the strips and just like made each drawing its own. Another church, St. Dainst. Not very good. I think this is the inside of St. Dainst. So I think I was bored. I think my mum was talking to somebody. I don't know, I can't remember, but yeah, that's the font. I think that's the detail of the font. Yep, that's what it says. This is going back to Kilpeck Church. I quickly drew the inside. And then there's also a Kilpeck Castle, like right next to it, on top of the hill. It's barely a castle, it's like just a wall, and that's it. There was a metal plaque talking about it, so I had the idea to do some rubbings from it. It was a fun little adventure. I had my brother holding up the sketchbook while I rubbed it. But yeah, you can see a compass there, and I think, yeah, this was like the wall that we were looking at, so it had a fireplace and stuff like that. This is Stocktonbury Gardens, and I surprised myself because I did a ton of drawings for this. I think up to here, all of these drawings are Stocktonbury Gardens. They are very nice gardens. I really love them. And I'm really pleased with the sketches that I made. So yeah, these are some steps going up to a door. It's basically a place with like lots of farm buildings and gardens, and this is a dovecote, so where doves would live. There's also like a summer house there, and it has lambs. It has an orchard. The lambs were in the orchard. And this is a really nice place, so I drew a lot there. I was drawing the leaves and the flowers in the gardens, different parts of the gardens. I don't like this sketch very much, but it wasn't a church, but it was a building with a bell. But yeah, I don't really like the colours. I pre-painted this beforehand, so I didn't know that I was going to be sketching that on top. This is probably like the most time I've spent on a travel sketchbook page. This was a little fountain thing that was like really overgrown, and I wanted to capture that. I think I captured it very well, and I coloured it in afterwards. Like I did the line work first, and then afterwards I coloured it in. It's okay. I'm kind of confused about it. I don't know whether I like it or not. Yeah. These are some, like, I think they're fake ruins. They're like in a secret part of the garden that you have to like go through some hedges and like find this secret part. I really love it. And I mean, the ruins look ruiny, but apparently they're fake, or like they were moved or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did this, like, this was just really rough sketch, and I was going to do a line work over it, but I kind of liked how it was, so I left it. And yeah, this was with watercolor. There was a bench, so I just sat there and quickly watercolored it. And I did, a couple of months ago, I did do like a big piece based on this, which I'm pretty proud about. My family and I were kind of messing around, kind of making up stories for a specific plant, like how they look like towers with defenses, and how they could be like little houses for tiny fairies. So I quickly drew that down. Another part, really picturesque. I also did make a really experimental ink piece out of this. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but yeah. I think this was like the cafe, or like a place you could get the food from. But yeah, that's it for the Stocktonbury drawings. And then this was another day when I went to a battle reenactment. I think it was in Monmouth. And yeah, while like it took a long time for everything to happen, it was a proper performance. Obviously no actual battles, but nobody was actually hurt. It was a good few hours that we were standing there kind of watching it all happen and like watching the story unfold and watching them all get ready and then battle. So this was just like random bits just that I could see around. I don't know when I got this. I don't know if I got it on this day or if it was another day, but I pressed it and I didn't know where else to stick it, so I just stuck it there. Banksy notes from Electra. Yeah, I had a stall at CMYK in Hereford College, and it was a long day, so I got a bit bored, obviously, and drew what I could see. This is another place. I believe this is Tredegar House. From the way it's spelled, I think it's in Wales. So I think this was our view as we ate some lunch. This was outside as well, where we got our food. And yeah, a pump that I very quickly drew because I liked how it looked. One note, just drawing what was on the table when we went to a quiz night. I quite like this, how this page came out. This is at Hampton Court Castle Gardens, different to Hampton Court Palace in, the one that Henry VIII was in. It's a different one. They have really, they're the best gardens I've ever been to so far. They have flowers, but also kitchen gardens. So they had a huge section where they had all these beds for different things. So I just stood there for a bit and made the grid and very quickly wrote down what each bed had. This was while we were eating in the cafe. I very quickly drew the flowers that were on the table, and they're really amazing gardens. It's a real nice mixture of nature and architecture. So they have these two I think they'd be called gazebos, I think. So there's this one, and then we were sitting in the other one. So I drew the view. This is a bridge in between, and it was a really nice surprise. While I was drawing, at one point I looked up and I realized that these ducks had come in through the little tunnel. It was a mother duck with her ducklings, and they were really cute and fluffy, so I made sure to quickly try and draw them. This was a section of the garden that I really loved. I loved the layers and the perspective and the way that everything was done. This is I think this is water. It was just really nice, and I knew that the photo couldn't get that depth. So I tried to sketch it, but I was in a real rush. So I know I still didn't really get the depth. I just wished I could just take a screenshot of my eyes, of what my eyes could see, because I just really love the perspective, but I couldn't get it down, either by drawing it or by taking a photo. So it's a bit of a shame. This was the leaflet for the place, so I just stuck it in. This is another part of the garden, it's like a pond, and this is actually an entrance to go into a cave that then takes you somewhere else. I got this far, and then it started to rain, and it smudged the ink, and I just had to stop and run into the cave, so I wasn't able to finish that. So it's a bit of a bad drawing. That's the end of the trip. This is actually a little fountain that you could buy at a garden centre. I just liked how it looked, and I was a bit bored, so I decided to draw it. This is then another trip back down to the relative's house on my own this time. And it was kind of funny. We did, instead of a pub crawl, we did a church crawl, which I know sounds silly. We just went to a bunch of really historic churches, just because we like the architecture. So this was one of them, St. Swithin's. It was a cobble church, so all these, the whole wall was covered in flint, basically. So it was a really different architecture to usual. So I tried to get that texture in. I went in with Foscas first, and then later on I went in with a thinner white pen. I think I do skip a little bit. Yeah, this was another one of the churches that we went to. This is the back through some shrubbery, and this is a better view of it. I ran out of space, so I put the thing at the top there instead. Oops. I think I had to finish this afterwards because it was a lot of detail. And then back here, this is another day still on this trip. We went to Farnham Sculpture Park, which I've been to so many times, but I can't get enough. I've seen like so many of the sculptures so many times, but it's still, I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic to me at this point, because like I went when I was really young, or in secondary school as an art trip, and then I went a couple of times with my family, like my mum, and then I went with my aunt this time. And I've just been so many times, and it's a really nice place to be in. So yeah, this time I was interested in kind of looking at shapes and stuff, because at the time I was kind of inspired to keep working on a game idea that I had that I developed during university, and I was kind of thinking about environments and stuff, so I was most interested in just kind of getting shapes and weird structures and stuff. So yeah, I know I have another here. Okay, so I don't know why I skipped around so much, but this is more sketches from the sculpture park. This, which I've actually drawn before, if you look at my previous sketchbook tour, you'll see that I've drawn this exact same point of view, which I didn't mean to do at all. That was me just like doing more ideas for the game using sculptures in the park. Again, I was kind of making up my own little landscapes using the sculptures. If we go back here, this is a bad page, very boring, because I was bored. We went to a market, but it was honestly pretty bad because I don't think they did very good advertising for it, so basically nobody came. So yeah, we were there for quite a few hours, not really doing anything. So I drew a chair because I didn't have anything else to do. Anyway, this was another day on that trip. We went to, I think it's called the Weald and Parklands. This was while we were eating, and I got my watercolors out and drew this. I've been to this place a lot of times as well, so it's another like nostalgic place that I like to go to. It's a place where they've got a bunch of old buildings from around the country and like dismantled them and then brought them back, so it's a really nice historic place. This was on the way back from, I think, the Weald. We just went past this ruin. So I very quickly did this line art, this sketch, and then when I got back home I used this tracing paper to redo it and do it better. Then because I had that was done, I decided I could just do whatever the hell I wanted on this page and just kind of experiment. It went really badly. Well, I kind of like the sky, but the wall went terribly. But it's fine. I was experimenting. This is another part of that house that I very quickly drew down. There was lots of layers going on, so I wanted to draw them all. This is now another day. I was back from my trip. It was Heart Week, which is an event, like a week-long event in Herefordshire, where studios and galleries and everything open up to show a bunch of artwork. It's a really, really good week. So this is one of the places. It's really interesting looking church. I think it's like Italian style or something like that. But yeah, this is the church and this is the graveyard. The gallery was inside the church. I just had the sticker because we also went to the college to another hard thing, I think. Or maybe, actually, maybe it was another CMYK market that I didn't get into, so we just went as customers instead. Another day, we went to, what's it called? Okay, so this is called the Weir Garden. Again, it's a National Trust place with some gardens and some woodland. So this was, whatever that says, a hole in the ground from the nymphs during Roman times. I don't know if it was actually Roman. I think it might have actually been Roman, but yeah. I very quickly sketched it out. And this was a few steps further. Some really interestingly shaped yew trees, like the branch had kind of grown out, like grown this way and it was leaning on the dirt. So I like the shapes, so I just drew that. These pages are a bit of a mess. I think this came first. I was tabling at another Zine Fest in Cardiff. But yeah, so this was my little note that they put on all our tables so we could find them. And then again, it was a long day, so I was kind of just trying to entertain myself. So I drew some faces, which I haven't done in a very long time. As you can see, I don't draw faces. I haven't drawn faces in the sketchbook until now, because I used to be a face drawing artist. Like, I have an old sketchbook where the only thing I drew was people. But then I stopped and turned to nature and architecture and stuff, and I kind of lost my confidence drawing people. I guess I suddenly had an urge to do it, as I know that they're not very good, but that's because I haven't done it in a very long time. I am slowly getting back into drawing people, because I really want to be able to draw them. But yeah, and then these were the worms, because it was like a worm theme in the market, as you can see here. I made a little animation to promote this thing. This I stuck in later on. What is it? Oh, right, okay, so this is a map of the Weir Garden. So this is a kitchen garden they have, the greenhouse, and this is all the woodland that you can walk through. I honestly didn't even know that there was a park. Actually, no, I might have seen that from like here. But yeah. And then I think because I was running out of space, because we're nearing the end, I decided to use these sides to draw on as well. So this was just, we went to eat somewhere, so I drew after we'd finished our food. Then I think this is, yes, in British Church in Skenfrith. So we were inside and I was just drawing random things that I could see, and then I did some more rubbings on the I don't know if they were tombs or like decorative things. I don't think there were anybody's in there. Yeah. Then we're in Bath all of a sudden. I think this was to go to a vegan market. And then we walked around Bath a bit. This is the Weir, but it's a different Weir. It's not the same one. I always go past it, and this mechanism isn't used anymore, like to control the water, but it's not used anymore. I always look at it, and I just kind of like figuring out how it would have worked. And then this is back this goes with these things. This is back in Scanfith. This is the castle. I started drawing it, and then it started to rain, and you can see it started to rain, and it ruined this, which I was sad about because I did really like how this turned out. But yeah, so I had to abandon this. I never went back to it. And then here again, I don't know why I skipped so much, but then this is the church that I did these things in. So I had my stuff on this wall, this low wall, and I used my brush pen, which is this. I really like how this turned out, considering it's like the penultimate page. I was really surprised at how nicely it came out, to the point where I've made like little prints for it for my thank you cards. And I then also made a final piece out of this. I'm really proud of how this piece came out. I like the sketch more than the final piece that I made afterwards, honestly. But yeah. And so yeah, going back, this is a different day. We went to the Dowwood, which is some woods, to walk Tilly. I have a reel / YouTube short of this day of like me drawing these things with some Tilly content. if you want some dog content. I did this. I did the line work, and I think I did a bit of the pen work with these pens. I took a few of them, and then when I came back home, I got some coloring pencils and went a bit all out, which I kind of regret. I kind of wish I left it as it was, but oh well. And then this was a yew tree near some ruins, like some ruined walls. They must have been houses at some point. We always love seeing those. And yeah, this is a really interesting yew tree with lots of different shapes and stuff, so I decided to draw it. And then this was the last page. I actually kind of I left this as the last page for a long time, and then I went on to my next travel sketchbook, which was another one that I made myself out of this old book. I bounded myself, and I've already done quite a bit, but because I didn't really know what to do for the last page. But in the end, I decided to do these forget-me-nots at the bottom of my garden because they were really nice, and I loved the contrast of them, like next to the fence and the stones. Didn't manage to capture that in the sketch, but I think it's still nice. It's a nice way to end it. And then yeah, I do miss this sketchbook. I love the other one, don't get me wrong, but this little sketchbook was with me for quite a while. And I do miss it. But yeah, so that's my travel sketchbook. I did also, I'm gonna plug real quick, I made a zine out of my favorite pages in this sketchbook that you can get if you want from my shop on Etsy. I'll have the link in the description. But yeah, it's got my favorite pages in it. So, you know, if you liked what you saw and would like to have this, then you can get it if you want. Okay. I hope you enjoyed. As you can see, as I already said, I've already started my next sketchbook. And I've done a few things in it. But yeah, there's still a lot to get through, so I'll be doing a tour of that when I finish it, which, considering how long it took to do this one, I don't know when that will be. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.